Hey, it's the Fosters After Show on AFTERBUZZ TV. Tonight we're breaking down Season 4, Episode 9 called New York. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, Jess.
Hi, how is everybody?
Great.
Good. We have such a big episode to talk about. Let's do some intros. Not that out of the way. I'll start. I'm Jeffrey Masters. I tweet from Jeff Masters1.
I am Jillian Leff. I tweet from @Jillian Leff.
And I'm Stephanie Giorgi. I tweet from @StephanieGiorgi.
Awesome. And if you're watching live, Jillian is checking Twitter. If you're not watching live, you can do so at 6-ish p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Tuesday night. Also, we love reading your comments on iTunes, on YouTube, tweeting with you throughout the week. So thank you for that. Okay, I have to say it. This is my favorite episode in recent memory.
I think so too.
Definitely all season.
It was great. It was really good.
It had everything I wanted. The like quiet moments, be it Lena's speech quiet or Callie and AJ in the closet hiding moment. It had like big drama. It had the reckless Callie, and it had amazing flashbacks, which could have been so cheesy and overdone because like they're from the biggest moments of their lives, but they were so like just effortlessly flowing through the episode.
And written and directed by Joanna Johnson.
Props.
Goddess. You goddess you.
EP and
Obsessed.
co-creator or not co-creator? Just EP.
I'm just obsessed. I'm obsessed. I think that she did such an amazing job with everything. And as a fan of the show, I think we've been craving an episode like this. It was nice to see outside of San Diego, which we'll talk about. It was nice to see the past. And I don't know, it just gave me like all the feels. It gave me everything I needed.
I forget how little everyone looked
Oh my God.
when it started.
Wait,
like,
Jeff
I
actually
don't remember
tweeted-
Hayden looking that small.
Oh my God. He was a fetus.
He was.
I'm like,
He
what
had a
is this
cord
lost
attached
footage?
to his stomach.
Yeah.
Yeah, at first I honest to God was like, which character is this? Because I just did not recognize him. It is unbelievable the amount he's
Even
grown.
Gavin, too, though. Or Connor. Even
my
Connor, I was
God.
like, what? They were that little? Now I know why it was such a controversy when they were doing it. Not a controversy, but
I don't
like
know.
a big thing.
But then I looked back at photos of us and Hayden because we had him on ever since the beginning, and I was like, okay, he was that tiny, which is why we comment every single time he comes in, like, oh my God, he's so tall. Oh my God, he's getting so much older. Oh my God, his voice changes. Like we've seen this kid grow up over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
But no, that was just so many sweet moments, and the fan reaction has been insane. I mean, I ended up watching the episode this morning, so I've kind of been interacting with fans all day. I know Jeff live tweeted the episode before, and it's kind of just really nice to hear from everybody how much they loved seeing all of these things that we have been wanting. You know, the story of the house, the just these like little subtle nuances that just make us even more connected to this family as a whole.
Sorry, the story of the house, though, was what a funny flashback. Oh my God, get out of here with Steph's hair.
The wigs, yeah. Jeff was like, straighten her in a wig.
Oh, you know what though? That's nothing against the Fosters. That's against TV wigs in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
It never.
It was so... Well, here's my thing. I remember the flashback from season 1, I think, of when Stephanie knew she was gay. When she like met up with Lena, and it was like such a weird moment because she was still married to Danny or to Mike. And I that's like my favorite flashback. Like I wish I could find which episode that is. And it's when she cries and she's like, because I know I can't be like without you. Like I love you. And it's like when they've decided they were going to be together.
I'm actually sure that somebody will be able to find that for you. So
Yeah.
fans, just tweet
That's
me
one
the
of my
episode.
favorite ones.
So
just
Steph can go
because-
watch it and cry when she gets home.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I just think it's very impressive to be able to handle flashbacks in this manner. When they first announced we're getting a divorce,
Yes. And
then-
so quickly.
so quickly, then we had the 36-hour flashback.
Right.
So when we actually find out that they're not getting a divorce, but they're filing for divorce to freeze their assets, when they first said, we're getting a divorce, okay, now that we got your attention, I felt a little taken advantage of.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But then when we find out that there actually are filing for divorce for this very specific reason, I was very much okay with it. Just because that's a cheap trick. And then they turned around and was like, no, we're actually filing. We're not
Right.
tricking you in a nasty way.
Well, the thing is, like,
Oh, they're actually getting a divorce? No, but they're not trying to. It's just for the
they're actually
assets.
filing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't just like an offhand remark.
Right. It was like
intentional.
we're genuinely, yeah, of course.
I mean, like, the thing is, I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot. As soon as the realtor said that she was pissed at her husband for freezing the assets, I was like, oh, that's what they're going to do. Right out the gate. I was like, well, Nancy Drew has this figured out. And I did. So give me a cookie. I deserve it.
I feel like I'm always on. I feel like I'm always so on top of things, but that completely went over my head.
I feel like I'm always.
I feel like I'm very smart, but like sometimes, no, it didn't cross my mind once. I also didn't think that they would get divorced. Obviously,
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice twist because obviously leading into the episode, the fans really had no idea that was going to be the case. Everything that I was hearing was there was like this whole debate that I had after the after show with a bunch of fans, whether Cierra was saying you're getting a divorce or they are getting a divorce because it sounded very similar. And then Cierra responded to us and she was like, I'm saying you guys are so silly for freaking out. So we're like, okay, that's good. So we know it's your. And then it was like, well, maybe Lena's parents are getting a divorce or maybe something else is happening. And it was nice to see something different that none of us predicted. Because I know fans reached out to me and said, oh, they're doing this to freeze their assets for that.
I know, right? And normally they would, and just like that. They wouldn't skip a beat. They'd be like, no, Jillian, relax. It's just
like, I
to freeze
said
their
this,
assets.
yeah.
So what happens is,
it's the Junio.
right?
Just like, I figured it out.
You know what though? This all gave us the amazing scene at the end with Steph and Lena, where they more or less recommitted themselves to their marriage,
Yes.
kind of like a vow renewal.
It really was such a. You just gave me chills.
It was fantastic. Yeah. God, I love it.
I love it.
Okay, while we're talking about the flashbacks.
Jinx.
What
Mm-hmm.
are we jinxing? That about with Jude in the flashbacks. I want to talk about Jude and Noah. Did you also predict them getting high in the garage?
No.
Yes.
No, but not getting caught up by Steph and Lena. That was the last thing that I thought was gonna happen. However, I knew he had to get in trouble somehow. There's just no way that they were gonna let that not be a lesson.
Oh, you really think so?
Yeah, well, and it's the same thing with Mariana. I told you she was gonna start popping them again.
I
was
did.
right.
You were right about that.
I know, because everything. It's like you know, it's like back to the Family Matters and the Full House rules. Any bad thing that happens comes with a lesson. They're not just gonna put it on TV and be like, "Well, that's life."
Well, but Brandon took the SAT test for somebody else, and that didn't come back to bite him.
It did. He got in trouble by all of them.
He got in trouble and, like, quote unquote, fixed it, but there's no lasting repercussions.
You're
That could have been a massive
Brandon's
legal
lucky.
offense.
Damn it.
Well, he also would have been grounded if he lived there, but he didn't.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, you're right.
I don't know. I knew that Jude was going to get caught in the garage as soon as Brandon saw somebody because I remembered about the pipe and they showed that it fell in the box and then like, okay, so even though I've never seen that couch before, have you ever seen that couch?
No, never.
Never.
That was so funny. That's exactly what I said. I was like,
Y'all,
Weird.
they were packing their home. Things changed. Things moved.
Whose couch is this?
this is probably the same couch that that Jesus had
Jesus.
sex with.
You're right, with Haley.
But, okay.
So
You're
we
right.
don't like that couch.
I don't know why I
No,
gasped.
That
I know.
couch.
I'm 4 years old.
What? He had sex? Oh my god.
Or
dirty,
sex?
dirty
Should we say the word
couch.
sex? It was just so, they can't hide that.
I know.
I actually thought that it was Boo Radley had snuck in there and set fire to the place.
Right.
What's his
Well,
name?
but here's my thing. Why? I can't believe he actually, like, why would you actually toke up, though? Like, toke. When I say toke, I mean, like, light it instead of just have the edibles. What makes you think that scent wouldn't travel out? What makes you think that you wouldn't get caught?
They did it because they're needy
it was in the
and
garage?
they needed it, and
But
they bought it.
I also think that, especially because there's so many things going on, the last thing that the moms are going to do is look back out in that garage. Like,
And
I
they
don't
wouldn't
think-
have had Brandon not come home.
Sure.
Okay, let's talk about something nice. Noah and Jude's relationship. I
Noah's
only want
so
what
hot.
you want.
I really like.
He's so hot with him. I love it. The way he was like, hey, it's all right. Everyone has a first. I'm like, oh my God, Jude, go for it.
Has he read the game, the Pickup Artist Handbook by Neil Strauss? We don't have to talk. This.
Right?
I did think that it was a little pushy at first.
No, it's like, whatever.
And then he did
That's
apologize.
the game, Jillian. That's how it works.
The game.
But he did apologize. And also, instead of smoking, I thought that the mamas were going to walk in on them, like, doing it.
I didn't think
To
they
be
were-
honest.
Well,
Like, I was
not
like,
doing
wow.
it. I thought
Or
they were
doing something.
Yes, I thought something also.
Yeah.
When they were just smoking, that was like, I couldn't believe it. Especially because Jude was like, Jude's line made me laugh so hard because it's exactly what I would have said.
What'd he say?
What'd he say? Yeah, where were
Whose
we?
is this? And he goes, I know I love you guys. He goes, what is that?
Oh.
Like he would have asked. He's like, oh, I played stupid, but I would have done. Everyone else was just like, not me, not me. I would have been like, I don't even know what that is.
Oh, I see.
Literally.
Brittany Love said, burn that couch.
I know.
There we go.
What color do we think the couch was? Brown, purple?
It was 70s checkered.
Yeah, it was definitely checkered. Yeah.
Okay, fine. We've solved it.
It was Brady Bunch.
Jana Womack said, I love how Noah was respectful of Jude's boundaries.
Also, when Jude said, I've never done anything below the waist, I wouldn't say, it's okay, honey child, you're 4, there's no rush, there's no timeline for any of this. You can go to college, it's fine. And then I embrace him with my hug.
Yeah.
Embrace in like a platonic way.
Right.
Also, Alan, TV guy, brought up a thing that we haven't talked about yet with Jude. Jude throwing away the phone was the nail in the coffin for Johnner. Closure.
Oh, Alan.
The
nice.
phone or the game?
Or it's like a PSP.
The PS, yeah.
Oh.
I think so too. And that's good. It's also a sign of him never being a hoarder, so that's great.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God, I love those signs.
I know.
No, I think that's very big. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Closing the book.
Yeah.
A new chapter, a new day, a new life. Song lyrics, a new me.
Even though I have a box and quite a few memories of like every ex I've been with, I do think it is okay to just have memories in your mind.
Absolutely.
You don't have to have
so.
actual objects. I have plenty, but it's okay. I'm a little bit of a hoarder. I'm just kidding.
Okay, let's move to Nancy Drew and Boo Radley.
Huh?
Callie, Callie and
yes, and
the street
See, I
painter.
thought you were talking about me for a second. Oh my goodness.
Did Nancy Drew have a?
Callie is so dumb. And now, I know we talk about it all the time, but she can't stay away. She can't be tamed. She can't stay away.
She's like Miley.
She goes rogue
yes,
so much.
and no one likes her either.
It is actually insane to me that she would think in her mind's eye that it is okay to go to some house that you think this guy murdered somebody and you're just gonna pop in, check things out. Let's grab a cup with some
What is
saliva
her-
on it. Let's grab a dirty toothbrush.
Oh, you know what? I have another call coming in. Give me. I knew she was gonna hang up. Bye. Okay, and then go in there. But yeah, that was so. It just makes me mad because we're like, what happened? Where did you go? We thought you were.
But were
coming
you
back to
too?
us.
Were you too angry to like be freaked out by the scene? Because I didn't breathe the entire time.
Yes, absolutely. Because right, he murdered Martha.
He definitely did.
He's about to murder the family. Posted outside of the house. And like all angry, he thinks that Steph and Callie teamed up together now.
Also, I was a little confused by this. How did he know where she lived? Because he obviously didn't follow her. And then why does Steph have her home address on her business card?
No, I
like
don't
I was
think-
like really confused.
Did she? I don't think she did.
Like, how did he find this address? I mean, maybe it's on Google, but
It said like the police division and then 14th Street. I don't know if that's where they live or
don't know.
not.
No,
their
I don't
address.
think so either. It said 390 something.
it's okay. Twitter's gonna tell me.
It also could have been that it was the police station address, and then he just like found her name and looked her up.
Yeah, I think that's probably most likely what it was.
But I'm really freaked out.
So am I. I just, it really does blow my mind that she thought she was going to be like quick about it.
And there's a dog. He's a hoarder. Like nothing's gonna go well.
What blows my mind even more about this entire thing is that we'll obviously talk about the preview, when we go to predictions, but
Yeah.
he was not mentioned or seen in the preview at all. So I'm like, is this dude going to be the cliffhanger for
The family's survival?
for the end of the A season? Yeah, like, is it gonna, like, I'm just like, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this. We were left with a potential school shooting in the last cliffhanger, and now we're gonna have to deal with somebody who like is definitely a murderer, and then not even to mention that scary detective that found Steph.
Hope you make a killing. Nice pun, dude.
Yeah, get out of here with your threats. Your
Yeah.
veiled threats. Not
Yeah.
even veiled.
I just don't like it. I don't like it at all.
And she's gonna be a great detective.
Thank you, Steph. I think that that's a great point, Jillian. This show is like the queen of cliffhangers, and ooh, it's. Can you imagine if they
It is.
build
It's gonna be really
tension?
bad. It has to get bad. I mean, this is serious.
Yeah, just like building tension for an entire episode and then ending it.
Yeah, especially because
Like he's in the house or something.
He's kept track of it. I mean, he's obviously either one, he murdered her, or one was obsessed with the whole case because of his little billboard. And that's what bothers me the most, is that she got all the way in the house to grab a toothbrush but didn't see his billboard of collections with Steph's card on it. His card, whatever, not billboard. What do you call those? Corkboards.
bulletin board.
Maybe I wasn't watching
Bulletin
close
board.
enough. I thought she did see it.
I thought I didn't see her see it.
I didn't see her see it. I
can't
saw her
remember.
just look around and then see the toothbrush and then take it.
I think had she seen it, she would not have been able to keep that secret.
Yeah.
That's too big.
That is too big.
But also, like, once they get the DNA from the toothbrush, like Elliot said, like, that's not a miss one quart. Maybe they can get the other group to, like, believe them now.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, but you see, but that's my problem. She even asked and he told her, no, it's not going to do a lot for you. But she went in there anyways.
what is the kid's name who's in jail they're trying to save?
Kyle.
Oh, it's Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because not to jump to predictions, but they're all wearing Justice for Jack t-shirts
Mm-hmm.
next episode. And I was thinking it was Kyle, but it's Jack. Jack's the one who died last cliffhanger.
Yes, and because he was put into a foster home, that was bad. And again, the whole system. Oh my goodness gracious.
I have no idea what to expect.
Me neither.
Freaking out.
What is
Especially, I can't wait till we talk about predictions because of what happened in them.
Oh God. I always thought it was so funny when AJ, old Callie, your boyfriend's here,
Oh, I
talking about
loved
Aaron.
it. I loved it because Callie and I had the exact same face also. We were
She
like,
was like,
what? I was like, oh, you making jokes, AJ? Okay.
With the scene with them having their like sexy Jesus time, and then they're hiding in the closet.
Jesus time. I love how you called their time Jesus time still. By the way, did anyone notice while they were laying there how affectionate the both of them were? Sorry, it just made me laugh because Callie was playing with his nipple the whole time.
was she?
Yes. And I was like, what? Like, I'm like, wow, she's really committed into this scene right now.
I didn't see that.
Of course
That's
I did.
hysterical. Yeah, you were like,
Please go ahead and tweet me, everybody. Make me feel better about that. Thanks. Lisa, Brittany, all of you. I depend on all of you.
That's incredible. I just was waiting for like the Polonius moment of like them stabbing into the closet with a knife. And you're like, oh my God, I'm sorry, my daughter.
How funny was it? Sorry, how funny was it? How much noise he made picking up the clothes?
well, I'm like, if they made that much noise, it's only a 3-bedroom place. Like,
Yes.
I would have heard that.
Me too.
They were scrambling around, and I thought it was really heartbreaking, though, that,
she had to hear it.
yeah, she had to hear all that stuff. But how great of Steph to be like, don't you dare talk to my daughter like that.
I love.
was such a
Everything was
moment.
perfect. Everything was perfect.
Such a moment.
And the opposite of that, where Mike said, "This is my son."
Yes, exactly. That you don't understand how much I loved it. And then on top of all of it, Callie needed to hear that.
I agree.
Because it's not a matter of like, I wish I was there to be like, look, Callie, I understand that it isn't fair that you've gone through certain things and this and that, but at the same time, you've been around a very a good influence. You've been around a better influential family. So forgive me if I'm saying it incorrectly, but she's been around all of that, and it's one of those things where as much as you may have the freedom to do things, and it's maybe a little bit sexist to say, but yes, girls shouldn't be acting that way. It's a matter of respect for yourself, and like, you know, hopping around and just using your own your past issues as more or less like a
Wait, in what way? She shouldn't be acting that way. Which way?
just so like free, you know, that whole Cameron day. Like, she needs to stop doing things like that.
Oh.
She's still, I feel like
that
that's
was
not
so very Callie, though.
that was so very Callie, but she needs to reflect on herself as Callie, and Callie needs to stop doing ridiculous things like that.
It didn't bother me so much.
It did bother me because he's right. Mike had every right to say exactly what he said, and she can't even be heard about it.
But like childhood trauma, you know, it takes you 20 years to get over that.
Right.
I'm not speaking personally. But I'm just saying, like, these things are so ingrained in her that how can she get over it that fast?
okay, maybe not get over it that fast, but definitely hear it and acknowledge it. Accept it and understand it.
Yeah.
Know that it's not, okay, it's not all your fault, but you can do more to help yourself if you're aware of it.
I think I agree, but also when you're that age, you process things differently. So you know, Steph says some things that she didn't like, and then she says, "This is my daughter. How dare you?" And Callie only hears the negative stuff.
Right.
You know, she brushes past "This is my daughter, who I love." So I think it's like selective hearing at that age.
It is.
I think she heard Steph say that and is comforted with that, and is why she was able to have the conversation with AJ afterwards.
Did he know about her and Brandon having sex before that?
I don't know. I think that they just thought that they were like in love or something.
I can't remember, but just
neither.
from the reaction of her in the closet, I felt like because she was kind of like, just like, oh my god, okay, obviously this is happening, I can't stop this from happening, and his eyes were looking right at her, and she was looking straight ahead, and wanted to be anywhere except for that 7 minutes of heaven in the closet.
That was an incredible moment.
Yeah, and also kudos to Tom Williamson, because I thought the scene afterwards, you know, they always say like when you're acting, like simplicity is almost the best and the most that you can do, and trying not to cry is like the best kind of an acting, if you will. He did just the perfect amount. Like, I feel like the reflection of her having to admit that, yes, that we kissed, and then him knowing that they had sex, like, it actually hurt him, or so it looked like. And I was happy to see that, because you can tell now that he is kind of falling for Callie rather than just this beginning and distracting relationship.
I could see them breaking up next episode.
Maybe, but still, at least we know now that the emotion is there.
Yeah.
And I feel like and if they break up, it's because he has like the love from Mike.
Okay, yes, but also with the finales and the cliffhangers, it's been a very Bradley light season. I could see them finding some excuse to like bring like that back into the flow of things.
Well, everyone was saying how in the preview Brandon is crying, so they thought maybe he didn't get in, so he'll be in San Diego, and he sent that letter to Courtney, and
I think he's crying because he read my tweets about Courtney.
Maybe.
I feel like Denise would be crying if she read your tweets about Courtney.
He was crying. Okay, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that in the preview. I'm kind of mad, and I rewatched it.
He's like crying in Lena's arms.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god. So who wants to talk about New York City?
I do.
Cool. When Brandon said goodbye, they had a lovely pan across the bed. It's very much purple. We know
Thanks to all of our tweets,
we
yes.
got confirmation last week. This was just like a smack in the face. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's purple. Mason sleeps in bed with them. Is that what we saw?
Yeah, but he had
We
said,
knew that.
remember, we knew that because of the argument that they had.
And they were he was getting kicked in the face by the kid because he couldn't sleep, and it was a whole thing.
I know it's a good episode when I'm sitting here like ready to just rebuttal on everything that we're talking about, and I like literally just forgot that we're filming right now. And I'm like, keep going.
Well, I even heard them say "I love you" before.
I haven't. Remember, she said it to him and he didn't say back?
But he was like hesitant.
He was.
I don't know. It was one of those.
He said it to say because he's like, I guess I kind of mean it, but whatever.
I don't know. I hate sympathy. I love yous.
Me
I feel like
too.
if you can't be honest with the person, you're one, not mature enough, and two, don't say it back.
I mean, Noah and Jude are honest with each other.
They
When they're uncomfortable, they tell the other one. They tell them how they feel. It's very, very healthy.
I mean, it's open communication, but at the same time, I feel like, I don't know, even though, you know, Courtney is mature to a certain level, she has a kid, like, I think that there are so many immaturities about her, and I feel like her and Brandon are just, like, two crazy kids, and they're not really going to be honest with each other because Brandon hasn't been able to be honest with her about some stuff, and the stuff that he has been honest with her about, she went ahead and told Mike that him and Callie had sex, and it's like, you know, it's just so immature. The back and forth is so immature.
Yeah.
I can't take this relationship. I hope flames, not like real flames.
Okay,
think
Jeff,
so.
calm down.
I know, right? I think she gets it. When she said goodbye in that last look, she knew what was up. And especially if she's going to be 21, as immature and ridiculous that girl is, she knows what's up. She knows that the second you leave San Diego, the world looks so much better. There is so much more out of that town. And like, sorry, now I'm speaking personal experience, right? I was like, so I left to San Francisco, and that was my first thing. Like when I went to the orientation, it was like, oh my God, I'm not going to stay there no matter what.
I think also when you have, let's say, like second thoughts or misgivings, or you're not sure about a relationship you're in, it is so much easier to stay in it and figure it out slowly when he's paying rent.
Yes, because comfort is stronger than love sometimes. You don't even need the love.
Yeah, and maybe it's like not even not love. So like she's like figuring it out, but she like is okay to do that when she's getting rent paid for.
I love
absolutely.
the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I loved the conversation that Brandon had with the blonde girl, which her name is Ari, because I was like, Jewish name.
Ariel,
Ari.
yeah. I thought the same thing.
So the conversation where she was like, you can't go into the room with any sort of thing holding you back, because if you do, they want 100% from you. And then she brought up a really good point. You know, you're going to be pulling 16-hour days. You need to be completely focused on this. There can't be somebody holding you back across the damn country 3,000 miles away.
Very well said.
And it just got really real, and I'm glad that it finally clicked for him, because he went in with the confidence that he's been lacking over the past couple of weeks. And I thought it was really nice to see, because Brandon's been so unsure of himself. In last week's episode, he said that he didn't really practice as much as he should have. And that was disappointing, because I was like, damn, this girl is like holding him back. And now to say that he went in and nailed it, quote unquote, it's like exciting for him.
And in addition to that, also he, since the beginning of the series, has never been comfortable with his playing. There's always been an issue, whether it was his hand, whether he wasn't emotional enough, whether he still had to learn or do this or that. That was like the first time, which I was really surprised that they didn't show us what he was thinking of.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna get a flashback of like Callie or of like some kind of pain, but it was just him playing, and it was great, and he really like played it well.
And I
so
love that
I wonder if he's gonna talk about what he was thinking about.
Possibly. I also loved how they did the direction of that, where his music played over Callie and all these things that sort of like matter to him. And I don't know, I really liked that.
I really love any excuse a show has to do that too.
Yeah.
Like, so I think, was it the Orange episode where they're singing their song and then we're having like a
Yes.
scene? Like,
So good.
It just like, it's such a nice flow. Yeah, but Ari, as the voice of reason, as the voice of the AfterBuzz TV panel,
Right.
finally verbalizing for him.
Thanks, girl.
Team
It was
Ari.
Yeah.
Ari.
Also, not to get shady, but
Oh.
you can tell she's an LA actress because she's so tan.
Oh yeah.
That's not New York.
Are you kidding me? That's what I know. I was like, girl, you Callie as F.
I was like, you better cast someone pale next time.
But like, who knows? 'Cause they actually shot in New York, so.
Oh,
That's true.
I don't know.
Well,
And also, she was great.
Yeah,
she
I
had a
liked
couple
her.
lines like, "This is the like greatest city in the world," and it was. I was like, "Yeah, I like you." Like, she believes that.
See, like,
yeah.
I'm not a fan of like when an actress is in New York and she like twirls in the street, but like
How she did it?
I was fine with it. I'm like, whatever, okay.
You're so funny. Why did I notice that too? And I was like, girl, why'd you twirl?
Because I was like, what are you twirling at?
I
What
did
are
that-
you?
But you
you're
know
in
what?
Lincoln Center.
Here's the thing, though. I thought the same thing too, and then I had to reflect, and I was like, Stephanie, don't hate. So I kept watching, and I was like, if I had just met Brandon, because clearly she was feeling him, and she was just excited. It's just like, oh, like it must have been like a genuine natural twirl.
And she's a dancer.
She's trying to be cute, exactly, and that's the thing. Her twirl was very nice.
Yeah.
She didn't fall over. It was like really like she could have put a PK in there, and she would have been straight.
I twirl all the time.
I know.
I was okay with it
Sinead
all
turn.
because this is the happiest we've ever seen Brandon.
Yeah,
he
yes.
was overjoyed. So like the panning camera around him and you see the city. It was so exciting for me to see New York City like from this new perspective. He's 18. He's here alone. I don't agree with that, but he's there alone. And he's just like seeing the city for the first time. Incredible.
Amara Booker said, I felt Brandon's playing in my bone marrow. So she felt it deep down.
Nice.
I like
Deep down.
that.
Lizette Escobar said, I feel like everyone needs an outsider to point them in the right direction. I think that is true as well. Because, you know, Brandon can't listen to our after show every week. So,
Right.
to be honest, they needed to cast somebody.
Yeah.
So thanks, Ari. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I also liked Ari's reaction to Brandon saying she has a kid. She's 95.
Yes.
What?
Thank you. Because it's a reality to where he's at. And as much as Brandon is a wonderful soul and kind person to have taken in Courtney, yeah, no. Remember
Also
what
that
everyone else's
it's that
reaction
outside
is.
perspective to say
Yeah.
like, yo, like no offense, but like end it.
But Callie had the same reaction when she found out about Courtney's kid, and just because they slept together, he acted a little bit differently. It was kind of like, what, you jealous of my new relationship? Like, we're good, whatever. And then this girl, he's like, oh, you're right.
Well, yeah, because, but it's also, but that's why, because he's like, oh, he can't take Callie's reaction for anything these days because he thinks that he knows her too well. Yeah. So that's what makes it difficult. But Ari is just someone unbelievably refreshing, and he needed that. She's a breath of fresh air, and so was the city.
I totally
this was so
agree.
Great.
Also, to be negative. How dare he stay up that late when he has his audition the next day?
Right? He's like, I'll be fine. I might get out of here.
I would be like, you need to rest up. You need energy. You need a good breakfast, some eggs.
Did you find your new room and did you unpack?
Go get some bagels and lox. It's New York City. Like, I just, I'll send him a meal plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needed some help.
Oh my God, bagels and lox.
When he said that and I love the Moonlight Sonata because it's like Beethoven's most famous piece, and probably one that he would scoff at because it's like simple for Beethoven.
Sure.
And it's just like the perfect choice for like a high school senior to be like, I'm going to play Beethoven. How amazing was like the little moment too where he pops in, he's from New York, and they're like, but how was it? And he's like, I killed it.
I know, and he looked great. And it was so nice to see Steph and Lena so excited to see him. They haven't been like so overjoyed before, and like showed him and hugged him, and like he needed that.
It was
they
his
all needed
homecoming too.
Yeah. Well, they had like a really nice moment in the previous episode. So I think that really it was just sort of eased all of the tension. Yeah, because it was built up, and then sort of that honest moment that him and Steph had in the last episode. I think it only just catered to the wonderful moment that we got to see in this episode. I was sad that it was cut short by Jude,
right?
Obviously.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm sure we'll get more of that in the next episode because Brandon needs to go home to retrieve this letter that he sent to Courtney.
I know. I think he could easily grab it too. We'll talk about predictions, but before we do that, we just need to mention that Mariana is on her continued downhill spiral.
My God.
Wait, no. Can we mention the journal?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's where I'm going.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
No, then continue, please.
I was saying, like, on the spiral, she's taking Jesus' pills still, as Steph called, and the journal, the reading of I didn't want these kids, or however it was phrased.
I was so confused because when he said, no, this is Mom's journal, of course they thought it would be Mama's, but then it was Mom's journal talking about what Mama was saying. So that was really crazy for me because not once did I ever think that Lena would have been the one to have been hesitant of it. And then how gnarly to have that conversation, and how many times do you think that an adoptive like family setting has had that?
I think it's overwhelming too because, obviously they want to start a family together, and Steph had Brandon and Lena hadn't had any children yet. And it's so overwhelming, I think, especially adoption in that sense, to have two twins come home. And there's so many, you're insecure about your abilities as a mother, and you want to make sure that they're cared for. And I thought the honesty was refreshing. And I don't know, like, I always say that Mariana is dramatic, but like, I felt like this might have been a little bit of a dramatic moment because also, they were young. Yeah, I mean,
it was appropriately dramatic. I would have also, because it's just hard to hear those things. Like, as much as they grew up knowing that they're adopted and everything else, there's often times where kids like that are like, I can't believe I didn't come from inside of you.
I agree.
And that's what they want. They want to share blood and everything. So it's like upsetting to hear that, especially coming from Lena, because I bet you they would feel a little different way if it was from Mom. But it was like Mama's supposed to be the one that wanted it. Mama's supposed to be the, our rock.
And we're not arguing that like they're not loved. Right. It's just like that knowledge of unwanted is crazy. Also, when we talk a lot about how much we like the Lena scenes, her one-on-one, right? But this was such a different side of her being vulnerable and expressing something about how she feels and not just trying to comfort somebody. And so to have her say, like, this was a gift. I was meant to be your mom. You're meant to be my daughter. That has been said a lot of different ways in the show, but never so like succinctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really lovely and simple, and
it was,
again, just like really affecting.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing, like, I see it from both sides. I see Mariana being affected, but I also see it as a parent, it being very scary and wanting to, like, spread your honest mind in this journal that no one else is supposed to read.
Right. And think about it, like Mariana said, if there's things in my journal, I would die. Like, imagine like your truths that you have, but no one would ever understand in regards to perspective, you know? So it just sucks to have someone hearing, you're like, no, wait, but you don't know because it was in my mind, and not even in her mind at that. That's coming out of Steph's, you know?
Yeah, but also like unwanted, maybe, but like Lena did not know these two people, her children, yet. So she got to know them and then fell in love with them.
Right.
And I think that that's like a beautiful part of the story, and that's fine.
I feel like the mama this is all great and everything. That scene was beautiful, but I think they really just need to realize that Mariana's back on Jesus's pills, because who's keeping track of those?
Yeah.
She has them in her purse now. They're not even in the kitchen.
Is he still taking them?
I thought he takes them. He was like wrestling to help with the ADD or ADHD, and then he doesn't wrestle anymore. So I just assumed, like, why would the pills just be there?
Well, why did she get a new prescription? How did they get that?
It could be like a recurring mail thing.
Well, but not pills. They have to. He has to be taking them still, unless she figured out how to get more.
Yeah, I don't know. But it was just weird that it was in her purse now, and it wasn't, because she had snuck into the kitchen, into the basket the first couple of times. And
no,
now,
but the second time was she opened the mail. She saw the medical thing. She opened it, saw that it was the pills, and took them with her. And that's when she put them in the purse.
I thought it was in the basket because he no longer took them, and I was kind of like, where they
Right,
stored
I thought
it.
that too.
So it could be that he has not taken them, but still like the recurring shipment and payment is still there. It could have been like a 3-month order.
Okay.
And so for 3 months they'll keep sending
And
it.
it had been a while anyway.
Yeah,
So
I mean it could
time.
be anything.
Right. I like how we're trying to calculate. Okay, so what happened?
Kazzy247 said, "Did you see that leg shake? Those side effects are going to catch up with her."
Oof.
It's true. I don't know. She's freaking out. There are too many moving parts going on around her, and she's not in control. I think she's like she has to be in control.
Well, that's what's making her so like,
Yeah.
like so intense. You know,
I don't think-
it's like the juice.
Yeah, I don't think that this storyline will be wrapped up in this part of the season, just because it looks like there's not going to be another robotics competition next week.
And to be perfectly honest, it's easy to hide things like that.
Yeah. And but like if that's
And
gonna be an ongoing
unfortunately might be a bad
storyline,
thing.
like she's gonna still want them and need them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else? Oh, another thing. They were also talking about so her with the changes in the house and how she was so affected by the house, and how she had said to Lena, "Yeah, is there another reason why you don't want to stay here? Because of Nick." Mm-hmm. So they are fine with. Everyone else is fine with them staying in the house, but Mariana was kind of like, seriously? Because I think she was just getting used to the idea that they weren't going to be there with all these negative memories that the house now holds for her.
Oh, in the garage.
Yeah, and the attic.
The attic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Finding
it's
a journal,
kind of
Nick
like
hiding up there.
a PTSD moment.
Kind
Yes.
of, yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I mean,
a lot of people on Twitter keep bringing it up. So.
This guy, oh, that's a great point. This guy that she like might have that she loved, let's say, like brought a gun into her bedroom, like the safest place that she could find. That's incredibly traumatic and scarring. I think that's a great point.
It is. It almost makes it like the biggest love she's ever had. Even though Matt was so wonderful, it was never as intense and passionate as Nick. And it may have not been passionate from her side, but now it is, because her heart is now invested in trying to in the mental state of someone else.
And unpredictable. Oof. All right, let's segue to some predictions.
Okay.
Leaving off with that.
What?
I want to leave off like right off of where we came from, but into predictions.
Okay, yeah.
AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
How scary does Nick look?
Oh my
in the
God.
previews? What would you do? My heart would drop. What do you mean you're out and like
When
we're
somebody,
together?
anytime it's like, shh, I'm like,
Oh yeah, exactly.
yeah, what are
And
you
he's
doing?
like, come here, and you're like, no, oh my God, I'm running right now.
It was scary. It was really scary. Although Louis Hunter, man, he told us that Nick was about to get real twisted. So I'm excited to see this.
He wasn't
finale.
lying.
No, he had come in right after they had wrapped, so he was like, it was fresh in his mind, and I'm really excited to see, because we had thought that he had reached another level when we had seen him during the when he had the gun and stuff. But this is crazy.
Yeah.
The recurring thing we see happen next week seems to be enough to lock him up for a lot longer.
Yes.
Be it
Or
like,
something bad will happen to him.
Ugh.
Because I think he'll either get locked up or he'll hurt himself again. But actually,
Something,
an
yeah.
actual attempt. Because he didn't even attempt before.
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, I think that I'm going to talk about Brandon and Courtney. So I think that possibly Brandon crying in Lena's arms might mean two things. It could mean that he didn't get into Juilliard, or he's emotional because he has to break things off with Courtney and he doesn't know what to do, or it could have something to do with the letter. Maybe the letter showed up. I feel like it has something to do with her and not Juilliard completely. I'm leaning more towards that side of things. Because I don't know if they're ready to just give up on that whole storyline. I don't know where Brandon could go from here. And it's worked with other shows where other cast members have been in other places. And I do think that from the Twitter feedback, it's been very refreshing to have scenes in another location.
It has been.
And to have different characters introduced. So I think that works. And before,
Well, maybe he's crying because he was accepted.
Well, that too.
He could be crying because Nick killed his sister Mariana.
Oh my God, guys. And before I forget, because I have to remember, happy birthday to Sarah on Twitter. She's been tweeting us this entire show, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Sarah.
And happy early birthday to Kristen. Her birthday is tomorrow.
Happy early birthday, Kristen.
And just an announcement on my end before Jeff predicts and we wrap up the show. I'm not going to be here for the finale. I'm traveling, but I booked 2 guests. We're having Jordan Rodriguez and Ashley Argota in. They're both in the finale, so I'm really excited. And hopefully having 2 people makes up for the one me missing.
I don't think it can. Stephanie does.
I thought you were saying the one missing because I thought you meant like a different guest. That's all.
No. So anyway, Jeff,
we'll miss you.
I'll weigh in after I get home. I'm not going to have Wi-Fi where I am, so.
Oh, my word. Whenever we were going, like Antarctica, the elevator. Oh, my, the elevator. I was going to say
you rode the elevator to the parking garage?
What is the equator?
The equator? No, I'm going to London and Ireland.
Are those near the equator?
Yes.
No, they're not. It's very rainy.
They're better with the Arctic Circle.
Do they have elevators? I know. Okay, prediction-wise, I don't know what Justice for Jack could be. I mean, obviously we know Jack, but if that's like Jude's doing, if it's Callie's doing, Callie has enough on her plate between her senior project and trying to save the life of Kyle and hiding from Boo Radley, so I have no idea. I also wonder if it's like renew any Justina stuff.
Maybe.
Well, they said she wasn't going to be in this episode.
Yeah, but just like they could talk about her.
Oh, yeah.
I also want, if they do renew Justina storyline, I want to renew that White House storyline. I am ready for Callie to go to the White House.
I know. So exciting.
Yeah, and then
Maybe it's part of her senior project.
Maybe. And then what was the other thing we saw? Oh, the Juilliard letter.
Yeah. And we saw Jesus and Nick. Jesus being like, don't come near my sister.
Oh, you're right. You know what? With Ari, how much we all loved her, I think we can all say it would be very easy for them to see that, how much the fans all react to Ari and say, like, this would be a good like person to bring back.
Yeah.
They can like they're testing it, you know?
Is next week the finale or we have 2 more?
Next week.
Yeah, there's a lot that's going to happen in that episode. In fact, I bet you it's going to be just like 2 minutes of everything in the preview plus 2 minutes of everything else more.
Yeah.
I want to see Jesus frame the nail and put it on his wall.
Oh, yeah. We forgot to talk about that. His like hilarious comments where he's like, I'm at risk for seizure.
I know.
Milking it. Milking the nail in the head.
Modern art. Oh, Jillian, I like that.
Modern art.
But I do think that my like major overhauling prediction is that they're going to end on the cliffhanger that Boo Radley is going to be there, or I think it's going to end like a really scary moment where, like, imagine if he's like in the house, he like hides in the attic or something.
Boo Radley.
The man whose toothbrush they stole.
Oh.
The man who can't brush his teeth.
Yeah, Twitter really picked that up quick.
We'll
Everyone's
see.
calling him Boo Radley now, even though.
Yes.
I think something's going to happen with him, and that's the that we're going to be left with.
Oh, man.
We'll see.
Oh, my God.
That's
Oh, my God.
scary.
All right, well, we're done predicting. We want to
Hashtag save Callie.
Hashtag pray for Callie.
Yeah, pray for Callie. Hashtag pray for
Pray
Callie.
for Callie.
Where can we find you, Steph, to continue the conversation?
You can all find me on Twitter at Stephanie Giorgi and on Instagram at @TheStephanieGiorgi.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jillian Leff.
And I am on Twitter at JeffMasters1. We'll see everybody but Jillian next week. Have a great trip. Good night.
Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.